It's Sunday, it's 5 p.m. I'm Tom Selway, and this is the final Iris Live of 2021. Can you believe it? It's nearly the end. We've had so much fun this week, and we hope you have too, whether you've been tuning in from home or at the Co-op Happy Hour sponsored by Wrexham Lager and Evans Brewery. As well as our usual visits to the Golden Cross with David Llewellyn and the Social Media Hub with Holly, tonight we are joined by the chair of the International Jury, Rashid Bailey, last year's Co-op Audience Award winner and 2021 Best British Jury member Jamie Weston, and the team behind the winner of both the Best British Short and the Iris Prize itself, Baba. But first, let's see all the action from the last 24 hours at Iris. Being back at Iris this year has been super special.
Everyone we've met has been so lovely and so inclusive and accepting.
Probably the most intimate, exciting and satisfying Iris I've ever been a part of.
And everyone's having fun and here to have a good time, and it really shows, and it exudes happiness.
We've felt nothing but love and joy from everyone we've met since the moment we got off the train.
It's made us feel like we found our place.
In 2016 was my first encounter with Iris Prize, and then it's every year then it's grown and grown and grown, and obviously after last year it's really grown and become more accessible, which is really important for me, is that everybody has accessibility to Iris Prize.
Iris does loop you in as well, as you probably know, because you just do such a wide range of things to ensure that filmmakers feel involved, and there's so much going on. So yeah, it was in the midst of COVID, when everyone was locked in their house, I kind of started to realise what Iris was and what it was about, and now I think I'm in, that's it.
This is my first time at Iris Prize, and I'm super excited to be here because it's one of the best festivals out there, and I'm just so honoured to actually have been chosen for the Best of British.
That's what you want as a creative. You want your work to get out there, and the emotions that comes with that. And we saw that with the filmmakers today. It's heartwarming. They were so nervous beforehand, but it was so well received, and then you get that sense of relief that your work is loved, it's accepted, and there's nothing like that.
Yeah, it's really amazing to actually be at a festival in person and to be with the filmmakers and to actually see things in a cinema. It makes all the difference, and Iris is just such a special festival to be a part of, so really grateful to be here.
I find it one of the most liberating events of the year.
And I'm delighted to be joined in the studio by the winners of both the Best British Short and the Iris Prize for the film Baba, co-writer and co-director Sam Arbour, producer Hannah Stevenson, and co-producer Susan Simnett. Welcome to you all. Well done for getting here today. I'd imagine you had quite a lot of fun last night, maybe, Sam?
Just a little bit.
A little bit, maybe.
Maybe. Susan, what was it like to be in this very room and hear the reaction, the fact that you won? What was that like for you?
It was out of this world. I mean, this is the first festival that the film is screened, and we won 2 top prizes. It's unbelievable.
And Hannah, I imagine you must have been quite taken away. You seemed quite taken away on stage. You were quite emotional.
Like poker face. I was like completely overwhelmed. It was the most fantastic thing, because I think you kind of have a defence mechanism to think there's no way it could possibly happen. So I had that. You had the same.
Yeah.
And then
things
when
like
it happened,
we're not sat on the end of a row, so we've definitely not got it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Safe space.
100%. Yeah, we could relax, and then suddenly we couldn't.
Yeah, there was no time for relaxing, I think, last night. Sam, what has it been like to hear the reaction to the film this week from the audience here at Iris?
It's amazing, to be honest, because, like Susan says, it's the first time it's screened at any kind of event. So just to hear that the story makes sense, I suppose, and that people are feeling certain things at certain points in the film. You kind of make a film in such a bubble, you're just hoping and praying that people are going to respond to it, and people have been saying it's tense, and people have been smiling, and people laughing. You know, it's particularly after lockdown, it's so lovely to be in a room with real human beings and sensing what people think of it.
And I suppose if you look back at your timeline of the origin of this production to now, can you ever envisage that this would be kind of like the cherry on the cake of the whole project?
Oh, man. I mean, I've been following Iris for, like, a lot of, like, 6 years, I think it is now. So it's always been this, like, mythic place for me where they're kind of, you know, the best LGBT shorts, you know, shorts I really admire. So to think that a film that we've made is recognised on this platform is, unbelievable, completely.
And Susan, what has it been like for you to be part of the Iris Festival this week? What have you enjoyed about it, and what's the atmosphere been like for you?
Oh, it's been so welcoming, and it's my first time to Cardiff, so that was a whole new space to enjoy. It's just very, very friendly, very welcoming, and it's just great. You know, the team here have put on an amazing event, covering off all different aspects of it. It's been really, really good to meet everyone.
And same for you, Hannah. I mean, what's it been like?
I think my experience is you talk about sort of Iris family, and there really is a sense of family, and I feel so lucky to be privileged to sort of be joining the family. And that's actually how you feel, so they can't sort of fake that. It feels genuinely like supportive, and I'm excited to see what happens next. And
you're right about family, though. And you really are part of the family now, because you'll have to come back next year and make a film.
Sorry.
I mean, I suppose it's a bit short notice to be asking you, but is there anything in your mind already about, goodness me, we've got to do this film next year, what are we going to do? I mean, has that even sunk in yet for any of you?
Just about this morning. Yeah, I think so.
I've been asking him for scripts already.
There's things cooking along. Yeah, we've got plans for the future of the Baba universe, but also other short films. I'll go on my notes section of my phone on the train home, and there'll be something in there maybe that might one day, you know, play on the screen here. So, yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
And of course, this has been a co-project between you and Adam. What was that like working with Adam?
Amazing. I mean, Adam's he has a brilliant mind and sees the world differently to anyone else I know. He's so unique. He'd kind of come at things with such a different perspective that I ever would. You know, I'd kind of like be really focused on story structure and making things work, and he'd have these kind of big grand ideas about, you know, what it should feel like and that kind of thing. So together it was not always plain sailing, but I think that's a great thing, because it means that we'd be able to, like, you know, crash against each other sometimes, and out of that find something that maybe made sense for what the film could be, you know. Yeah.
And any final words from you all about the powers that be that made the decision? Would you like to say anything to the jury and the audience this week that have given you the accolade? Of course they do. Of course they do. But yeah, it must feel very special.
Yeah, thank you very much to the jury and to Iris for. Because I heard that both juries stay completely separate, so it's nice that both juries, you know, for Best British and for the Iris Prize, both saw something in the film that they enjoyed and wanted to celebrate. I think that's the thing about the film, is it's a celebration. We hope it's, you know, asks questions and starts conversations, but it's the most important thing about the film is friendship, queer friendship, and hope, because it sometimes feels like there's not a lot of it.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's been absolutely wonderful to have you here today. Thank you for sticking around. Congratulations once again. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm sure you're going to be up on cloud nine for quite a while.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you all for coming in. Of course, Adam actually couldn't be with us, but fortunately I was able to speak with him earlier today. So here's Adam Ali. Adam, great to meet you. Congratulations on your win. How do you feel today?
Honestly, there's no words. I haven't won many things in my life, so this is a big deal. And it's heartbreaking that I couldn't be there with Sam, Hannah, and Susan to accept the award, but they did an amazing job, and I'm so, so proud. Thank you to the Iris Prize.
You're more than welcome. It was obviously a really deserved win. Everyone agreed how fantastic the film was. Did you ever expect it to get this kind of recognition?
We've always known that it was controversial and that it was gonna flutter some feathers. People were gonna have a lot to say, because it isn't exactly like, you know, the easiest topic to talk about, queerness within the context of like the Middle East and North Africa and Islam. But ultimately, it's a film about friendship. It's a film about hope. And I think that strikes a chord and is something that people can relate to universally. And so it's just so exciting. It's done well at the Iris, and I hope its festival circuit experience journey follows and, you know, similarly kind of does well.
Tell us a little bit about how the project came to be.
Well, it was myself and Sam's lockdown baby. It was sort of the silver lining of lockdown. It gave us a purpose. And we saw the call out from the BFI and the British Council for the More Films for Freedom. And we just knew that we had to do something, especially seeing as Libya has never submitted a film before or been part of the scheme. So it felt like, you know, we had to do something. And I in lockdown, there was a lot of atrocities and tragedies happening, specifically in North Africa, and things that I was seeing that were happening in, you know, refugee camps in Kenya, you know, targeting LGBT refugees. And I feel like we just realized that we had to do something. And for me, film has always been the best vehicle to channel and to convey my activism and the messages that I want to share. And so we got on with it. And before we knew it, we were making mood boards and writing the script and then casting people, and it just came together so naturally. Yeah.
And was it a good experience, like, creating the film? I imagine it was quite tough given the circumstances around the world.
Yeah, it was really tough. Really tough. I mean, an example of that is like, me and Sam dreamt that we could film it, for instance, in Spain or somewhere in the Mediterranean in the sunshine, and it would just be like a beautiful experience filming it. But we found ourselves in rainy England, trying to replicate the Mediterranean. So you can imagine it was no easy task. But if anything, that only fortified the mission, the hard work, and definitely my skills and Sam's ability as a director and filmmaker. So it's all a learning curve.
And I guess you've already celebrated a little bit. Perhaps you're going to be celebrating today.
Of course, I have popped countless corks of like champagne and proseccos here in South Africa, and my friends and I are like celebrating, and it's just honestly like there are no words, you know, like it's such a big deal for us, this win, and really kind of is kind of the kind of energy and support we need right now, because we want to expand the world of Baba, and this kind of reception is more of a reason, you know, to do it. There's obviously a demand, an appetite, and people like the story. So who knows what the future holds.
Well, Adam, we're so pleased that you could speak to us today. Congratulations once again. Everyone in Cardiff sends all their love and best wishes, and we will see you next year.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Adam. Great to speak to Adam there. Now we're going back to the Golden Cross for the final time this year to hear from the Iris 2021 short film programmer, David Llewellyn.
It's the fourth and final day of Iris 2021. And the two programs you're about to see today are probably my proudest achievement this year as a programmer. We had lots of films by women filmmakers, almost half, and some really great lesbian stories, so we were able to put one program that just had a few of those films all in one place. We've rather cheekily called it Beyond Carol, so I'm just hoping Todd Haynes doesn't sue us. But two of the films in this program that I think you'll really like are Nora and Layla and Are You Still Watching? Nora and Layla is a really clever little film. It's kind of like Groundhog Day, but a queer Muslim love story that's told in reverse. It's from Fawzia Mirza, who we saw a few years ago when she brought her feature film signature move to Iris.
Should we pray?
What was that?
What if it's Lam Koi Koi?
Or Czar?
Not a wish. Bush baby.
Or a Mananangal?
Or my village people?
Or a white lady?
Terrified of white lady. It's probably a djinn. We should do the Surah Falak just in case. Okay? 1, 2, 3.
Are You Still Watching is this gloriously over-the-top animated film about love and lust in lockdown, and it was actually made while Melbourne and its filmmakers were all living under lockdown conditions. It's really clever and just so brilliantly over the top.
Tell me, how are you keeping busy? I've taken up baking. I've also been working on some, you could call them passion projects. Nah, too sporty. Too sullen. Way too cool. Absolutely not. Way out of my league. Oh, well, already been ghosted by her. I've been there. Dad wrote.
The other program you'll see today is Trans Power, which has two films that are empowering and uplifting stories in which trans people succeed against adversity. God's Daughter Dances follows a beautiful transgender dancer who is forced to enroll in national service in the South Korean army.
2층으로 가시면 돼요.
안녕하세요.
보호자석은 저쪽이세요.
저 병역 판정 검사 그거 받으러 왔는데요.
네? 신분증 있으세요?
네.
신민호.
저 이제 신미예요. 아직 성별이 안 바뀌어서 그렇지 그거 되면 이름도 바꿀 거예요.
잠시만요.
The other film in that program is completely different, and it's De la Terreur Messeuse, which is a kind of candy-coloured fantasy of revenge in which a group of transgender women fantasize about having their revenge against transphobes. And I think that one could possibly have a few people cheering in the aisles.
Vous ne toucherez plus jamais à l'une de mes sœurs, sale chien de 6. Je vais vous renvoyer dans les couilles de votre daron.
And this really gave us an opportunity to nail our colours to the mast. That's it for this year. I hope you've enjoyed watching the international films every bit as much as I have. See you in Iris 2022.
Thank you to David for those reviews. Now let's catch up with Derek and Orla, who, by all accounts, had a rather good night at the Iris Awards.
Our second day in Cardiff.
Second day, and we've got all access passes. Oh.
Iris Prize, here we go.
We're gonna wear these out. All access pass. All access pass. Look, there's all or nothing. All access pass.
Could I have some popcorn, please?
Certainly. Small, medium, large, or extra large?
Well, actually...
Derek, come on! Coming? Iris said to come to Cardiff for paid work. This wasn't what I had in mind.
Hello and welcome to Iris Live. We've got a great show for you over the next half hour, wherever you're watching around the...
Hello, Tom. Hello.
It's fine, just UK.
It's all right. We've got all access passes. Yeah, Bowen said it was okay. Oh, look at this. Oh, isn't
We've
it
got a great show for
lovely?
you with lots of special
is it
guests.
on? Are we live?
Some I don't know about.
Is this thing on?
Take a photo. Tom, how does it feel that nobody ever seems to ask you any questions?
Well, I mean, it's not really...
Tom, I've been stopped in the street here in Cardiff. I've had people ask me to take photographs with them, and there's been such an outpouring of love towards me. But that's enough about me. As Derek says, this is about you. So we're going to talk about you now.
Yeah.
What do you think about me?
Yeah, you're absolutely lovely.
And that's all we've got time for today. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Every baby needs a daddy. Can my daddy be you? Oh, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Orla, who are you talking to? There's nobody here.
Oh, I just need a stage.
So we heard you made a film.
It was a very good film we heard. Oh, yeah.
We have a couple of ideas for films.
Oh, lots of ideas. Lots and lots of
How
ideas.
about Derek and Orla at sea?
Or Derek and Orla at the beach.
Or Derek and Orla in the countryside.
Or Derek and Orla at a film festival.
Or, if we can get the budget, Derek and Orla in space.
Oh, Derek and Orla do you.
Or Derek and Orla. Derek and Orla, anything about...
On a train. On a train. Just...
We didn't get any award.
They didn't.
Did you get an award?
No.
I didn't get an award.
Where's Tom? We'll have...
Wait. I brought my own from home. Let's get someone to give it to us.
Oh, yes, let's. Hi, would you mind very much just handing this back to us? Just hand it to us. Oh my God! We've just got the best film in Iris.
An award for Little. Thank you. Is there cash or anything that comes with that?
Well, I'll think about it.
Okay. Thank you. Come here, we got on great at the awards last night.
Oh, I tell you what, Derek, everyone loved us.
They actually really did, didn't they?
Everyone.
And do you remember going jogging with Heather?
Oh, yes. Oh, she's very fast, though. I can hardly keep up.
She's a little sprinter.
Oh, yeah.
No! Heather, no, you do it! No! Heather!
Thanks, Derek and Orla. Welcome to the family. We'll probably see more of you next time. Right, time for Social Corner now with Holly. Welcome, Holly. This is probably going to be the big one, isn't it? Because a lot of news last night, the Iris Awards.
Absolutely, and it's all everyone's been talking about. It's very, very exciting, Tom. Damien shared this picture of the set before we got up and running last night, and I think we can all agree it looked fantastic.
It looks very, very glam. It was beautifully lit, actually. It looked very, very pretty.
Very well lit by a very excellent team. And what a joy it was to have an audience full of special guests last night, and most excitingly, lots of winners.
Yes.
How amazing was the atmosphere when Rebel Dykes won Best Feature last night?
Well, that was a great moment. I was stood to the side of the stage. I could see them actually reacting, and it was explosive is the way I would describe it.
It absolutely was. It was so much fun to have that much energy in the room.
Yeah.
And what a glorious exchange this was on Twitter with friend of Iris, Lisa Power, acknowledging how important it was for Bad Wolf in particular to offer this award.
Yes, and I had a really great chat with Bethan, who was representing Bad Wolf last night. She had such a great time. She looked beautiful as well. Everyone looked so good last night.
Yeah, people scrub up well,
They
remarkably, after a week of watching films, partying and repeating.
Exactly.
Our dear friend Neil, who made everything possible with the co-op happy hours this week, was delighted to see Sam win the Youth Jury Award. And we were so happy to have Lloyd, who directed it, down here with Sam last night. But we were definitely missing George and Neil. But I caught up with George on FaceTime just afterwards. And Neil was here earlier in the week and certainly seemed to have a lovely time.
Yes, they seemed very, very excited about that win, so well done to them.
And how amazing was it to have the team from Baba here last night?
It was. It really was. Because sometimes we can't always have all the winners here. So it really, really was special that they were here.
It was, and only the second time ever that someone's got Best British and the Iris Prize.
Yeah.
And as they said earlier, they really weren't expecting it, especially after the Best British.
Yeah.
I think they thought, you know, very good. Well, Hannah changed her shoes, didn't she? She was like, night's over.
I'm done now.
So that was really lovely. And of course they were missing Adam, but he shared a series of emotional and brilliant messages on Instagram last night, which was lovely to catch up with.
His wallpaper looks like my T-shirt, I just want to say. Just clock that.
Though, of course, some of the filmmakers have such busy schedules that they had to jet off early.
Yes,
So we did miss Peter and Tom, who were with us earlier in the week for Firebird's UK premiere. And we couldn't have done last night without our amazing presenters who joined you on stage, Tom.
Yes.
How amazing was Ellis? I know you had a good chat with him. What can we expect from him next?
Ellis was lovely. Ellis came down to the stage. I mean, he's a very young guy, and I mean, this room was full of people, about 150 people, and that's very daunting. Trust me, it's very daunting.
Well, I
and he
know.
spoke so well. Oh, yeah, you know too.
I had to sub in at the last minute for lovely Ben, who couldn't be with us. It was quite a shaky hands moment down here.
Yeah, but Ellis was great. He spoke so well, and he was so pleased to be part of the festival, and hopefully he can be an even bigger part next year, perhaps.
I think we definitely all expect really big things from him.
Yeah.
Another team of people I want to shout out is our board, who have been here this week and are all incredible. We love this tweet from new board member Susie Davis saying how much fun she'd had. And she was also volunteering too this week, Tom. How cool is that? She was behind the kiosk giving people their tickets. It's incredible. We could not do what we do without our volunteers. So a huge thank you to all of them, and a special thank you from me and you to the brilliant crew that we have for Iris Live and the awards.
Yes.
Look at this gorgeous snap from them.
Oh, bless. Look, we have to thank them because otherwise they'll cut us off and then there'll be no show and no lights. But seriously, best team we've ever had. We've had some great people over the years, but this year they've really excelled. Last night was phenomenal. On a technical level, it went perfectly. So I'm thrilled and I'm really grateful. So thank you to everybody for that.
We've had so much fun, haven't we? And although it's nearly over, we're not quite done yet.
Not quite.
So we've all got to follow Paul's example and keep watching online. Remember, the Co-op Audience Award is still all to play for, and you can vote when you're watching on Eventive. So that's it, Tom. I can't believe that's the last social roundup.
No more social. We've got to wait a whole year now.
But we're always keen to hear from you.
Yes,
you know, you can tweet me. That's how we can get in touch for the next year until we're back on the sofas. So everyone out there, please do get in touch on Instagram and Twitter at Iris Prize and on Facebook at the Iris Prize Festival. And I'll see you next year, Tom.
Hopefully you will. Thank you very much, Holly. Now, after the break, we'll be joined by jury members Rashid Bailey and Jamie Weston, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
you have the ambition, we will give you the inspiration.
Welcome back to Iris Live. Joining me in the studio is the chair of the international jury, Rashid Bailey, and last year's Co-op Audience Award winner and 2021 Best British Jury member, Jamie Weston. Welcome to you both. Well done for making it in today. Quite a night last night. Rashid, how was it being part of the awards ceremony? What was it like? Did you have fun? Was it quite intense?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that intense because, you know, we had already made our decision, but it felt like a lot of responsibility and coming up on stage and seeing all the reactions, it was amazing, but I loved every second of it, really. And then last night was just mental.
Tell me more about last night, Jamie. What happened?
Oh my God, it was so exciting. I mean, just being in the room with everyone, you know, after last year and everything, being all together, seeing everyone's reactions, and that moment when you're tingling just before you're about to announce, and you sort of know, and you're waiting to see how they react, and the reactions were, like, phenomenal, weren't they?
Well, let's talk about those reactions, because, I mean, I think the best reaction that we had, well, you know what the best reaction was. I'm not sure if we can repeat it, but let's just say that there were some very excited people in the room, and they said some rather, you know, a swear word, maybe. But it is something really special to be able to share that with an audience. But the pressure in terms of being part of the jury, I can't imagine what that's like. Rashid, is that something that you're very conscious about the pressures of having the responsibility and making these decisions for these filmmakers? Because it is a very, very big deal.
Yeah, because you don't really want to give the game away as well. You want them to experience the full festival without knowing anything and going through that process of being surprised, you know? So there was pressure on that part because everyone kept asking, oh, what do you recommend? What should I watch? And, you know, what's your favourite film? And you just had to say, like, can't tell you. Can't say anything, you know?
And Jamie, what was the experience like for you? Can you talk to us a little bit about how being a member of the jury really works?
So essentially we was given the films to watch beforehand, and then we sort of come up with our own ideas on what we thought were the best ones. And then we all got together on Zoom, so it was nice and safe and COVID secure, and then basically said our sort of top three. And amazingly, everyone's, you know, top one was Bubba. So, you know, it was pretty unanimous about what our decision. And it was very close though, because the level of the competition is so high. There's such fantastic films on. It was pretty tricky to just choose three.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've both been, you know, part of the Iris family for some time now. Rashid, have you noticed that, you know, it is getting more difficult? The competition is fierce. The quality of the filmmaking is great, despite the fact we've had this, you know, awful experience with COVID. What have you seen this year in terms of the improvement on the quality of the filmmaking?
There's been a lot more diverse stories told, and especially from more countries as well. And it seems like the excellence of filmmaking is just getting better and better, and it's a lot more authentic as well, which is what we want. We want authentic stories and more diverse content. So I think we definitely get that every year, and it's just getting better and better and better. So, yeah.
And Jamie, the whole Iris experience for you this year, what's that been like to be back with the family, with friends, meeting new people, in the flesh? It must have been quite strange.
Yeah, it was crazy seeing this amount of people in sort of like one area, but it's been absolutely amazing. Like, you know, Wings doing so well last year, and then sort of experiencing it from home, and then getting to come here and and then see everyone else, and seeing all the fantastic films and other filmmakers totally made up for it. You know, it's been absolutely brilliant.
And same for you, Rashid. I mean, has it been quite an emotional week? How has it felt for you just being in and amongst the family?
Do you know, it has been emotional. Like, every time I hear the theme song as well, I start like tearing up. But it has been very emotional because the stories as well, they touch on difficult issues around the world, and you kind of feel like you want to help and you want to push forward that sort of call to action to kind of, you know, fight for equality and stuff. And just seeing all the filmmakers and how happy they are as well also makes you really glad that they're enjoying themselves and they're loving the experience. So, yeah, put it all together and I'm probably going to cry when I go home.
I mean, this is it. I mean, this is the last day of Iris. I mean, you can still watch the films online for a period, but it is kind of all coming to an end now. Are you feeling that, Jamie, today? Is there the kind of atmosphere around that? Oh, it's quite sad.
Yeah, I mean, because although there's some people who sort of we might get to see quite easily, there's a lot of people who've travelled from other countries, and obviously it's not easy to meet up and everything. So we know we're going to have to wait a whole other year so we can all come back again and meet up and say hello again. So yeah, it's super sad, but also exciting meeting all these new people and following them on social media so we can kind of see what everyone's up to.
Yeah, and hopefully we can have even more guests internationally in the next Iris. So fingers crossed, next year will be even better. Rashid, Jamie, thank you ever so much for coming in today.
Cheers, thank you.
It's been great to see you, and thank you so much for all your work this week. I know it's been tough. We really appreciate it, so thank you both. Thank you. So, I mean, that is it. That's Iris 2021. It's almost over, but we've still got a few exciting things lined up for you this evening. If you hop over to Chapter now, you can catch the Rebel Talk with our best feature film winners, the team from Rebel Dykes, who are very excited, I can tell you. And then you can catch a screening of the winning film at 7:30 p.m. And over at Premier Cinemas tonight, we have your first chance to see the Best of Iris 2021 screening of the winning short films, including Baba. Now, don't forget, you can also catch up with all the Irish short films online until the end of October and vote for the Co-op Audience Award when you watch them. That's it, though. Thank you for joining us. It's been an amazing Iris 2021. Thank you to all of this year's filmmakers, contributors, volunteers, and crew. We really, really couldn't have done it without you. So until next year, from me and everyone here at the University of South Wales Atrium, it's goodbye.